You're listening to The Gary Harris Show on Tide 100.9 in Tuscaloosa.
To cut recidivism rates in half by 2030. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news. It's free all throughout the day. Todd Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
The Gary Harris Show. UCM host Tider Insider TV. Crimson Tide Kickoff. Play-by-play for Alabama sports and sports director for WVUA 23. It's time for the Gary Harris Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Gary Harris Show for this Wednesday, Hump Day edition, August 28, 2024. We're one day closer to kickoff, now just 3 days away from Alabama and Western Kentucky. And we're going to have a great show today as we get ready for the Crimson Tide coming at you on Saturday night inside Bryant-Denny Stadium against the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. I'm Gary Harris. I'm your host. Chase Brumfeld is producing. He is manning the controls, taking your phone calls on the Pinnacle Park at North River hotline at 205-342-9904. Again, that's 205-342-9904. If you want to give us a ring, we'd love to get you on as early as right now. In fact, we'll get you on right here to start the show if you want to give us a ring here on the telephone. Our guest list for today, 9:30, of course, it's Matt Coulter on NASCAR, as this NASCAR season has been electric, and another great race this past Saturday night. You know how much I love Saturday night racing, and Daytona presented us with another fantastic finish as we had Harrison Burton make a great move on the last lap to beat Kyle Busch to the checkered. It was his first ever win, the 100th win for the Wood brothers in their illustrious history. And it was a win for Burton with the Wood brothers team, a team that had already been announced that he won't be back for next year. Josh Berry's going to take over that ride. How about that? So he's on his way out, but he gets a win, and he gets into the playoff. So big news right there. We'll talk with Matt Coulter about that. Then at 10 o'clock, we're excited. I was trying to get Will Friend on, the offensive coordinator for Western Kentucky, who played at Alabama and coached all over the SEC, and had hoped to get him on, and got an email back yesterday that he just felt like he was too busy with it being game week. And just didn't want to do any radio, so he couldn't be with us. But Lauren Floyd, who's a SportsAcre reporter at WBKO in Bowling Green and went to Western Kentucky, is going to join us to preview the game from the Western Kentucky perspective. And that's going to be a lot of fun at 10 o'clock. And then 10:30 in studio, Michael Hunger, general manager of Who's Q and Brew, and the guys who are up here on this second floor at Town Square, not just Chase, but Wyatt will be coming in, the guys from the Bear, the other stations up here are going to have a treat. He's going to bring some barbecue in this morning, so we're going to discuss all they've got going on at Hughes Q and Brew. And of all things, I won't be able to eat any. I've got to go have blood work done after the show today, so I won't be able to eat any barbecue, but everybody else can have some. So, and I don't usually eat until after the show anyway. So, but he'll be in with us at 10:30. With barbecue in studio for the folks up here at Town Square. So, and we'll visit with him about all the stuff they've got going on at Hughes Q, pardon me, because they have a lot going on. So that's the lineup. As I said, if you want to get involved in the show, 205-342-9904. Alabama practiced yesterday. Obviously, it was their first practice of game week. They put out some video. They had some players meet with the media. Do we have any of that sound, Chase, from yesterday? We'll work on it. They've got a media session today as well. I should have sent it to you. We were over there yesterday, but I can send you some. I'll send you Jalen Milroe. I know I've got him, and I'll forward that on to you. So anyway, they're in game week mode, but they are continuing to have media availability. As I said, some players and coaches today after practice as well. And then on Saturday night, it's the game. Around the SEC, of course, we talked about this yesterday. We went down the full schedule, but there are some big games in this week one. There's a lot of the games where the SEC has the favored team by a wide margin, but clearly you've got Clemson and Georgia and Atlanta, a huge game. On Sunday night, you've got USC and LSU in Las Vegas, a huge game. And then on Saturday night, you've got Texas A&M hosting Notre Dame in College Station. So those are three huge games within the SEC, and games that will have national marquee value. And of course, every game is big because it's the first game. But I will say this too. When you're a favorite, there's still pressure. I mean, you still got to go out and play. Like I've said so many times here on the show, Alabama's a 30.5 or 31 point favorite or whatever, but they don't let you start out the game up 31-0. It starts 0-0. So you have to go out and you have to earn it. So that's just part of it. So, it's a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of the unknown for that first game. And we were talking about this with Rodney Orr on Tider Insider TV last night. For Kalen DeBoer, he has been a first-time head coach, of course, at Sioux Falls, where he played, and, where he was the first time that he was a head coach. And he's been a first-time head coach at Fresno State and a first-time head coach at Washington. So he has been he's been a first-time head coach 3 times before, where he's run out that tunnel representing his team for the first time. So that won't be new for him. What will be new for him is that he has never run out of the tunnel wearing the crimson white at the University of Alabama inside Bryant-Denny Stadium. And it will be unlike anything he's ever done before. It doesn't mean he's not ready for it. It doesn't mean he's not going to coach a great game. I'm just saying, coaching at the 3 schools that he's coached at, while they were huge games for him, the first time he coached a game there, it represented at the time probably the biggest game of his career. But nothing is like what he's going to do on Saturday night that he's experienced in his coaching career. So it's going to be a great opportunity for Kalen DeBoer and for this coaching staff on Saturday night. It's just going to be something special for them. There's no other way around it. It is a big deal, and I can't wait for it on Saturday night. And I will mention this as well. After the game, I'll be working. I'll have a live report on WVUA 23. There is a chance now, and I don't think it's a great chance, but there's a chance to have some showers on Saturday evening. So I don't think any set-in rain or anything like that, but we could catch a shower. But I'm going to be live after the game on WVUA 23, whether I'm inside the studio or I'm outside the Walk of Champions or I'm inside the stadium. I'll be live somewhere. Depends, some of it could depend on the weather, what time the game is over, and all of that type of stuff. But I will have a live report for you on Saturday night. So looking forward to that. Some other news and notes in the big leagues. The Braves, give them credit. Atlanta, despite all of the injuries, continues to play decent baseball. They win again last night in Minnesota, beating the Twins 8-6 in 10 innings. So the Braves, that's a big win when you can win on the road, and they did it with a huge 10th inning on the road, and they needed it because the Twins came back and got a couple in the bottom of the 10th. But this was a 4-4 game going to the 10th, and then the Braves broke through for 4 runs in the top of the 10th. The Twins got 2 back, but Atlanta gets the win. 8-6 is the final. So the Braves, let me check the standings real quick, and just before we take Pat here on the hotline. The Braves are 6 back of the Phils, so still within range of making a push, but in better shape for the wild card every time they win a game. Increases their opportunity for a wild card. All right, let's jump out on the Pinnacle Park at North River Hotline and welcome in Pat, who's going to lead us off this morning. Good morning, Pat.
2 things I'm interested in seeing this week.
Hang on, Pat. Something's muffled bad.
Can you hear me now?
It's like there's an echo. Are you on speaker?
Yes, I am. I'm trying to take it off.
Yeah, try to take it off speaker.
Okay. Hang on. Okay.
Yeah, that's better. Go ahead.
Yeah. that two things I want to see is I want to see Gino get some meaningful snaps at center, and I want to see that Ty gets some meaningful snaps at quarterback. Because I'd sure like to see that. Because simply of the reason that Jalen plays wide open, and that we're one play away from Ty being a starting quarterback.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people will echo your sentiments. Of course, you're working in a new center as your starter. So I do think that's the priority. And then if Gino is able to get in there, and I think he will, and get some snaps at center, that'll be good. Or if not, someone else is, too, depending on how the game goes. Now, people always say they want to see this and they want to see that. The main thing the coaches want to see initially is that their starters go out there and play well and get a lead, to give those an opportunity. I don't think that they're going to feel, like they've got to get other guys into the game just to get them into the game. In other words, I think the priority for a first game is to have your starters go out there and do what they need to do. That'll be the focus. And then if you're in a position to bring some other guys in, then certainly you look to do that. But I've heard some people talking about, and maybe they will, but I don't think that they're necessarily going to have backups coming in early in the game just to get them in there. I think that, because it's a first game for everybody, including your starters. So the most important thing is to build rhythm with your first team before you worry about bringing other guys in.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. Just that, with a center, that things has been, and it may be just it has been wishy-washy, and wishy-washy concerns me real bad. And that's just me. But that's why I say a good backup plan. And Gino is everything that I saw. I look back at tape and things from when he came out of high school and stuff, that he was hurt most of the time he's been in college. And if he could stay healthy, I think that he's going to be a real contributor for this team, whether it's at center or whether it's at one of the other places on the offensive line. Because he's a big boy at 6'5" and 315 pounds.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Pat, if the game goes the way we'd like to see it go, then I think there'll be an opportunity for a lot of guys to get in and get some playing time. And, but if it's...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm just going to say, if it happens to be close, into the third quarter, then that might not be the case.
Yeah. Well, hey, you realize we're playing a seasoned quarterback.
Absolutely.
He played at LSU, he played down at Auburn, and I think he threw for over 3,000 yards. So last year, from what I understand, this guy's not your backyard quarterback, and this could be a real test for our defensive backfield. But I'm going to spread some rat poison this morning. I'm saying 48-7.
Well, hey, listen, that's not rat poison if that's what you think. And Alabama certainly, I think, has the weapons. I've got it 52-20. I'll go ahead and tell people the score I picked because I did on Tider Insider TV last night. So I got the Bama offense rolling too. I just think there's a chance that at some point, they're going to get some points because they've got, a veteran quarterback and they're pretty good on offense, even if it's later in the game. But I think Alabama's going to roll in this one as well. So, all right, Pat, I got to hit this break, but good to hear from you, my friend.
Thank you for taking my call, Gary.
All right, thank you. All right, here is the situation. We're going to get to the break, but before we do, I need to mention, I didn't do this today, and we're going to, Tom, you stay on hold, we'll get to you. I did not mention the fact that this hour is brought to you by Alabama Credit Union. How did I not do that? Alabama Credit Union, a trusted sponsor of the first hour of the Gary Harris Show for a long, long time, about time that I got to mention this morning. Discover the heart and soul of our member-owned credit union, empowering our members, enriching our community. Alabama Credit Union is more than just a financial institution. It's a member-owned community deeply rooted in rich historical values. Our central focus is empowering members, driving us to positively impact the community through financial success. Alabama Credit Union, loans for real life. Some rules and restrictions do apply. See if you're eligible for membership. Enjoy today and feel good about your money. And put extra change in your pocket. All right, we'll be right back with more of the Gary Harris Show. We'll get to some phone calls on the other side right here on Tide 100.9 FM and 1230 AM WTBC, your home for Alabama sports.
As much as Innisfree has evolved, it will always be that place to escape and have a good time. Whether it's for a game day weekend, to reminisce on college days, or to create new memories, if you're looking for a good time, there's only one thing to do. Head to the Free at 1925 University Boulevard. And don't forget about the Lucky Lunch Meat and 3.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Since 2011, Billy's Sports Grill, located on Main Avenue in historic downtown Northport, has been serving their legendary signature chicken sandwich, award-winning wings, and handcrafted cocktails. Billy's is also the spot to watch all your favorite sporting events with big screen, high-definition televisions in both dining rooms, at the bar, and outside on
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Another hot and dry day today with a sunny sky, the high 98. Tonight fair with the low at 74. Tomorrow and Friday, partly sunny both days with isolated afternoon and evening showers and storms. Highs between 95 and 98. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
You're listening to the Gary Harris Show. On your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Gary Harris Show. And we're going to jump back out on the Pinnacle Park at North River Hotline and talk to my friend Dr. Brent Tidwell, who's been treating me for chiropractic needs for 15 years now, from the Tidwell Chiropractic and Laser Center on Mimosa Park Road, just off Highway 69 South. But there's a lot more going on there. If you're suffering from a loss of energy, you need more pep in your step, Dr. Tidwell can help you with that as well. Good morning, Dr. Tidwell. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Doing great, man. Got to see you yesterday. My back's feeling great, but as I said, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, if people are looking for a little extra juice, a little extra pep in their step, just more energy, better attitude for attacking the day, you can help them with that.
Absolutely. The thing is, we do a lot more than people, any of the other clinics around town do. We have a medical doctor here that's in with us. We have a functional medicine doctor in here with us. So, we have from an IV clinic, we do stem cells, PRP, hormone therapy, you name it. We do it inside here. We label ourselves as Alabama's Rejuvenation Center. We get you back the way you want to feel.
And all it takes is taking that first step to get down there. And like you said, get some blood work done, kind of see where you're at. And then you guys and ladies there at the center, and then get your rejuvenation going by getting a plan in place to make you feel better.
That's right. The thing is, you go to a normal doctor and, they take your blood work and all, and they go, oh, man, you're feeling, your blood work's with the normal limits. And you go, but doc, I feel like crap. I don't feel good. I don't have the energy. Mm-hmm. And they go, but you're within normal limits. Well, that's the thing is, they're telling you the normal limits for your age. I'm 57. I don't want to feel 57. I want to feel 27. And that's the thing is, we look at the numbers at a 27-year-old, and we can get you back to those numbers feeling like you're 27 if you're 57.
Wow. Well, I know that appeals to a lot of people. Tell people how they can take the first step. And they need to just call and make an appointment or come by. How can they do it?
Well, they can call, make an appointment. You can call 205-343-7743, 205-343-7743. Talk to our wonderful staff here. One of the girls will help you, get you in here. You just tell them what kind of problems you have, and they'll kind of know where they need to direct you to what doctor you're going to see.
Sounds like a plan. Get on the road to rejuvenation right now with Dr. Brent Tidwell and his great staff of medical doctors. Feel 27 instead of 57. Thank you, Dr. Tidwell.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a great day.
See you soon. All right, it's 9:22 here on the Gary Harris Show. We're going to stay on the Pinnacle Park and North River Hotline and get back to our callers. Tom is first up, and then we'll get to Philip. Good morning, Tom.
Gary, I want to confirm what you said about the race Saturday night. That was fantastic with the Wood brothers and Harrison and everything involved. That was a great race.
It sure was. It really, really was. And I'm just telling you now, I'm going to talk more about it with Matt. I hope NASCAR is listening to me. We got to get more Saturday night racing going, and don't wait till football season to do it.
But I'm telling you, NASCAR is noted for being dumb. I'm telling you. And you ain't got to tell Matt I said that, but it's the blame truth. They'll get something going good, and then they'll drop it.
Well, the Saturday night racing is something they can hang their hat on. I don't know why they don't do it more.
Yeah, I agree. Dale Jr. said, quit running from football. Quit running from it. Take it on and go right up with it, NFL and all of it. And I agree with it.
Yeah, I think the Saturday nights are just exciting. And under the lights at Daytona, we had a couple of big wrecks, but there at the end, I mean, the kid Harrison Burton, without a ride for next year, made a move on Kyle Busch. I think it just left Kyle Busch with his jaw dropped a little bit, and he said afterwards, they said, could you done anything different? He said no, other than wreck him, and I appreciate Busch not trying to get up there and wreck him, particularly after what had happened with Austin Dillon a few weeks earlier.
And Harrison tickled me. He said, I beat the best driver in NASCAR for the win.
Well, he did, man. He flat out beat him, and for the wood.
I wanted to tell you, I had some news. I thought you might find this interesting, kind of NASCAR related. You remember Chocolate Myers?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I follow his wife on Twitter, and they don't post a whole lot, but something popped up Saturday. And I saw it, and I knew Chocolate had been sick, and he's had cancer, and has been going through treatment. But they posted Saturday that his cancer was, he had made his last treatment, and the doctor felt like that they had it in remission.
Well, let everybody know that Chocolate Myers is kind of a famous stock car personality. He was on Dale Earnhardt's team for many, many years, and as I guess a fueler or a crew member, but kind of went on to have a radio show and all of that. So that's who we're talking about. Yep.
Yeah. Chocolate was the enforcer for Earnhardt.
Yeah, he really was.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought I'd throw that out there before you got to Matt, and I knew you'd find it interesting.
But you say he's doing better.
Yes, he's his wife posted that the cancer was in remission and that he had cleared his last treatment.
Well, good. That's great news. Great news, Tom.
Yeah, it is. Really is.
Thank you.
All right, see you.
All right, talk to you soon. All right, let's keep it rolling, and let's get to Philip, who's next up. Hey, good morning, Philip.
Good morning, Gary. Did you watch the U.S. Open last night?
I'm at work, and I was busy last night at Tider Insider TV, so I did not get to watch very much last night. Tell me about it.
Well, it was good. My two picks were still alive. Tommy Paul won last night. He won in he won in a pretty good match. He won 6-4, 6-2, 5-7, 6-2 over Lorenzo Sonaga. And then the best match though was Paolini, the girl that I picked to win the women's singles. She's from Italy. She barely held on against Andreescu last night. She should have mopped up Andreescu. Andreescu started having cramps in her legs in the third set and could barely walk. And to her credit, man, she battled and evened things up at 4-4 in the third and final set. But Paolini held on. So there's some good matches today. Get started here in about 30 minutes Eastern time. We've got Dimitrov playing. We've got the crowd favorite, Gael Monfils from France is playing Casper Ruud. And then you've got Francis Tiafoe is playing tonight. So he's a huge crowd favorite with the people up in New York. But it was a good opening day. Now we're in round two, and it'll get real interesting after tonight.
Yeah, I did catch a little bit of the match yesterday. Well, I was disappointed. I was pulling for Danielle Collins, American, who has announced this is her last season, and she was playing another American, Caroline Dahlheide, and won that first set 6-1, but then lost a tough second set, then got beat 6-4. And an interesting deal there, I think they wanted to present her with flowers because it's her final U.S. Open, and she blew off the ceremony, and just said afterwards that she had told him she didn't want any kind of presentation on the court or anything like that, but she was clearly disappointed, and I don't blame her. I mean, that's a match yesterday. I mean, Dolhide's an American as well, but, Colin should have been able to beat her, but she's always kind of been kind of a temperamental type of big personality player. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she has, and I can't remember what kind of injury she's had that sort of messed her up. I think it's a back injury, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because at one time she was headed on the fast track to be one of the top women in the world, and I think
she sure was.
It never really happened.
I'll say this. Alcaraz was pushed last night a little bit by a guy from Australia.
I did see that he it wasn't just a rollover. So, yeah.
No. Hey, Gary, is Tom Stite still doing the engineering for the U.S. Open?
As far as I know, he is. And I have not talked to Tom, but I can't imagine that's changed. Usually he works it out where he goes up there, then he comes back and does the Alabama football game that weekend, and then goes back to sound, engineering. So, but I think he is. I mean, I know he loves doing that, and so I can't imagine that he's not. But I have not talked to Tom probably since I was on the Nick Saban show. Well, at one of the football games last year. I'd probably gone through the whole spring and summer and hadn't talked to him. So
it'd be interesting to get him on. It'd be a great interview about if you could do it. He's probably busy as all get out.
Yeah, but anyway, Tom's kind of low key. But yeah, you're right. I think people would love to hear all the stuff that he's been a part of because he's done, U.S. Open tennis. I think he's done some of the golf as well. Major championships in golf.
Gary, I'd hazard to say, I bet you he's done the U.S. Open for 20 years.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, anyway, I just wanted to give the tennis a little bit of props today, and it's a great tournament, and I encourage everybody to watch it. It's a lot of fun. They do a fantastic job up there with that tournament, and I'd love to go one day. I've not been able to go, but I'd like to go.
You need to get up there, pal. Thank you, Philip.
Have a good day.
All right, it's 9:30 here on the Gary Harris Show. This hour being brought to you by Alabama Credit Union, member-owned and not-for-profit. It's just a better way of banking. Hey, the YMCA of Tuscaloosa is kicking right now. Full speed ahead for football season and no joining fee through the end of September. So it's a great time to become a member at the Y. Also, 10% off all your personal training packages, whether you want to work out by yourself or you want to work out with a friend or your significant other. You can get 10% off an individual training package or a dual training package. So keep that in mind as well. The YMCA of Tuscaloosa, 2300 13th Street down.
Where every new Honda comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty. 1.9% APR for 36 months on 2024 Ridgeline models through Honda Financial Services. Not all buyers will qualify. See dealer for details. Offer ends 9/3/2024.
Tuscaloosa's Old Colony Golf Course is an 18-hole championship layout designed by 1976 U.S. Open champion Jerry Pate. Director of Golf John Gray and fitting specialist Bob Montgomery are PGA certified. Mike Shivitz is the head professional and director of the Tuscaloosa Junior Golf Program. Call today to secure a tee time.
DEAL or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511 today. All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
For more from Tide 100.9, let's it fly! And there's it! Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and SoundCloud.
9:34. Welcome back into the Gary Harris Show. It's time for Matt Coulter on NASCAR, and boy, the action just keeps heating up on the Cup circuit, and coming off a great race in Daytona for the Coke Zero Sugar 400 on Saturday night. We've got a Sunday evening race this week for the Cookout Southern 500. That ought to be a lot of fun as well. Matt, good morning. Oh, hold on, Matt. I jumped the gun. Now, good morning. Yeah, there you are.
Yeah. Hey, Gary, how's everybody in Town? It's a good time to talk about NASCAR, but certainly, man, it is football time in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, it is. The countdown's on 3 days away, but I'm telling you what, Tom called in earlier and just said what you and I've been saying. Don't back away from football season. These Saturday night races, man, are fun. Let's start with the Coke Zero Sugar 400. We had a lot of storylines. The biggest, of course, was at the end, but a lot of good cars got knocked out because of wrecks. Denny Hamlin, caught on fire in the pits. So plenty of action throughout, but in the end, it looked like that Kyle Busch was going to get his first win of the season, get into the playoff, continue a streak of winning a race, I think every year since 2008. And then the 21 of the Wood brothers, Harrison Burton, who has been winless on the season, lost his ride, made an amazing move on the last lap, got to the front and put the Wood brothers in victory lane for the 100th time in their illustrious career, and he gets his first career win. Wow, kind of a Cinderella story.
Yeah, and all of pit road in the garage area and, down on the haulers, they were really, really happy. They liked Harrison Burton. They love the Wood brothers, one of the true traditional team owners.
No doubt.
Back to the Petties. I mean, they're just such an integral part of NASCAR. It was good to see him win, but you just talked about it. It wasn't just good to see him win for history. Man, it was good to see him and how he won. He got a push from the 62 and Parker Retzlaff, and he took it to the front, and then he made an unbelievable block or two on Kyle Busch, and Kyle Busch is usually the guy blocking. And even Kyle Busch had to admit that the guy made a pretty good move on him. But, boy, did that ever shake up the standings. And we'll get to that in a minute. But back to the race, the fire was scary with Denny Hamlin. But Happy Harvick has a Happy Hour podcast, and he has great concerns over cars getting turned over now. And it happened in Michigan, and then it turned around and it happened again at Daytona. And I think there is more than just a little bit of concern about these cars getting on their roofs.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I think the drivers, even though both times somebody's gotten airborne, they come out of it okay. But I get that, because that's the thing that probably scares you to death. This time it was Josh Berry, but it could be anybody, because if you get, once you get turned over, we've just been fortunate, I guess. So what will NASCAR try to do to fix the problem?
Well, I'm not that mechanically inclined, but Kevin Harvick is, and then some other drivers. But then again, you and I have talked about this earlier in the year. These next-gen cars, you just can't pass. Mm-hmm. And they've got to change the packages particularly, but you can't pass at Richmond or Bristol any more than you can at Michigan or Daytona. It's something that they're going to have to do with these cars that allows them to kind of break free and not bunch up. And the middle of the packs are firecrackers now on restarts every time, and even, 20 laps into a stage. It's an issue. They're going to have to adjust these packages, and Harvick suggests to get it to the point where they can pass each other, and maybe there'll be less of the pushing. And
yeah, makes sense. Michael McDowell also going airborne at Daytona, and I guess some irony there with Josh Berry too, because he is going to be the guy taking over the Wood Brothers 21 Ford Thunderbird for next season. And so a lot of just all kinds of drama at Daytona, Matt.
Yeah, but all in all, I heard you talking to Tom. And it wouldn't hurt my feelings if they had more Saturday night racing, especially if it didn't go up against Alabama and Auburn games. But you can't control that, but you can control the ones leading up to football season. And I'd like to see it, even though, as you and I talked, I missed most of it because my son got wedding, and that's a cool thing. And I couldn't get him to turn it on during the reception.
Yeah, imagine that.
There weren't any television sets to be found anyway.
Well, congratulations. Congratulations to your son on a big night.
Oh, it's a great feeling. I have 3 wonderful children. All of them are married now. But it was good. I did get home just in time to see the last few laps. And that was incredible. And back to the top of the show, we were discussing big congratulations to Harrison Burton. And I'll be honest, I don't really know if he's hooked up with a team for 2025.
He hasn't
Not
yet.
the one that I know of.
He hasn't yet. This may help his chances.
Yeah,
for sure.
So,
all right. Well, we move away from an exciting night at Daytona to the track that's too tough to tame, and the Cookout Southern 500, 5:00 Central on the USA Network on Sunday evening. And the first thing you always like to do is just give us a lowdown on the track, and this is a famous one at Darlington.
Yeah, this track has got a whole lot of history. It was built in 1953. It's a 1.366 mile egg shape, kind of oval, kind of not. Pretty high banking, 25 to 23 degrees, and then the back and front straightaway is only about 3 degrees. But the reason I was reading this morning that it has kind of that odd egg shape to it is because the story goes, or folklore goes, that the guy that owned a part of the property that the track was going to go through had a minnow pond, and he didn't want to shut it down and close it. He refused to, and that's why it ended up being the weird shape. I don't know. That's a fun fact to know and tell. But as you said, is the track too tough to tame? The Lady in Black, the Darlington Stripes. I love this track, and so do the drivers, even though it is hellish on them and also the crew chiefs to try and figure out how to get through the top of that egg.
Yeah, it is. And this is the final race before the playoff, too. So you're going to have some truly desperate drivers in this one. So there's no telling what might happen, because you'll have some of these guys, their only chance to get to the playoff is going to be to win the race. And if you got some of those guys that are in that position later on, I mean, there's going to be some wrecks, because if we've seen some wild driving getting to this point. Can you imagine what we'll see on Sunday evening? If you got 2 or 3 drivers that their only chance is to win and they're in contention, they'll be willing to do just about anything.
Yeah, and especially at that track, which is so difficult. But the guys outside looking in, the first 4 were all in last year. And that's Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, Kyle Busch not making the race, not making the championship run. That's crazy. But he's 19th right now. And then you got Chase Briscoe, who was in a year ago, because he had a win. So it's crazy. And then the guys down low, Ty Gibbs hadn't won a race this year. He might not make it. Good, it's his final year, but Martin Truex is only 14th, and then you got 15th is Gibbs and Chris Buescher. They're the 3 guys that are trying to get on points that don't have victories. So, man, there are so many storylines here, and it's going to be a fun race to watch.
Yeah, and I get first pick, and there's, pardon me, man, I'm struggling with my voice. It's just listen, but I got to get through it. And when I get to your pick, maybe I'll have a chance to kill the mic and clear it. But since I lead us off, let me go ahead and get my pick in. And all the usual suspects: Larson, Elliott, Logano. But I'm going to go with Denny, who's got a great history at this track. Had a disappointing race, obviously, at Daytona, and has been pretty consistent this year. And so I'm gonna go with Hamlin on Sunday night, Matt.
I don't think there's a track on this circuit that you couldn't pick Hamlin and he'd be one of the top 2 or 3 favorites. And goodness knows, I have taken him enough this year. By the way, quick footnote: this happened right after our show last week. They took Denny Hamlin's win at Bristol away. Did you see that? They had an engine problem. They didn't get it to the right people in the right amount of time to inspect the engine. How that happens, I mean, how do you misplace a motor?
No, I don't know. Anyway. And I did see something about it, but it just kind of got pushed off the front page for some reason. I mean, that's a big
really
deal.
Is. It is a big deal. But anyway, Hamlin's a great pick on any track. What I did is last night I swapped a couple of texts with our executive producer there, and Jeff Payton. I don't know if it's outside of our boundaries here, but I got a little advice from him and his girlfriend, Leanne, and I'm going to take Kyle Larson. So that's my pick, and that's not exactly going out on a limb. But, man, I have 1 victory all year. I got to pick something up. So I've asked for a little counsel, and I've got it. I'm going to take Ty Wallace.
Well, as you told me before, he's a guy that can win on any track under any set of conditions, and he'll be tough to handle. And I really have a strong feeling, even though I went with Hamlin. Logano's had about as bad racing luck as you can have the last several weeks, and they've been running. That 22 team's been strong, so I think they'll be a factor as well.
Yeah, they will be. And Hendrick Motorsports runs well here, so William Byron won. So I don't know. There are a lot of different drivers that can win this, but I do tend to lean on the side of a veteran, and that's what obviously we both have done. Yeah,
well, we're looking forward to that on Sunday night. But as you mentioned, too, obviously college football is back last week, week 0. We got a little taste of it, but a full schedule. And I know you're back part of the Tide 100.9 FM and 1230 AM WTBC team with, pregame and postgame coverage for Alabama football. Kind of explain to the listeners what all you're going to have going on Saturday.
Well, DC from the Bear and I will start everything off at 1 o'clock at Grandstand, which is the old Lee's Tomb, if you're old like me. So that'll be cool. And then we'll do our post-game shows throughout much of the season at Walk-Ons, and I love that place. But don't believe we'll be there this weekend because, quite honestly, we'll be on a little after they close. Mm-hmm. The game kicks off at 6, and then they've got post-game. So we'll play that by ear. But, yeah, I'm very happy to be doing that again. This is my 3rd consecutive year. I love getting over there in the atmosphere, sometimes going to the game, sometimes just watching it on TV. But that's coming up. Of course, you've got your huge pregame show too, right?
Well, Matt, yeah, Crimson Tide Kickoff, which we did for, probably 12 years or so. Not going to do it anymore. We just staff-wise, and I still do the high school show on Friday night, which I incorporate Football Friday. I incorporate a lot of Alabama coverage into that, and then I'll have of course, I'll be going live Saturday night after the game for the 10 o'clock news, but not doing Crimson Tide Kickoff anymore, Matt. It just,
wow.
Yeah, just staff-wise, show you, how kind of shorthanded we are, and we're not the only ones. It's happening in broadcast TV. I'm actually going to be anchoring the news on Sunday night, so I'll be doing the news Sunday.
You're going to be doing the news?
I'll be doing the news on Sunday night at 10 o'clock on WVUA 23. So if everybody wants to watch me.
Now you're going to do that? You're going to do that for the rest of the year?
No, not for the rest of the year. Just hopefully just this Sunday night with us already being short and being Labor Day weekend. They asked me if I would do it, and what do you do, Matt? You're a team player at this point. And listen, as I told them, I said, because I said I'd be one to help out. I didn't have in mind the Sunday night before Labor Day after I worked, 6 straight days.
60 hours.
But anyway, it'll be interesting. But no, I'm Crimson Tide Kickoff was a great show. I appreciate you saying that. It really was. It had a terrific following, but, just kind of became impossible to do. So we're not going to be.
Well, I'll miss it because I made it a part of my daily, my Saturday viewing habit. But I'll miss that. But boy, you and I both know the stress that's put on this business these days. We could do another hour on that, but it'll probably bore most people.
Yeah. But, well, one good thing about Saturday morning is with it being a 6 o'clock game and no pregame show for me is I get to sleep in a little bit, which will be welcome because again, I'm doing an hour Friday night show from 10:30 to 11:30. So that will, that'll be a good part of it is I'm not going to sleep in all day by any means, but I don't have to worry about setting an alarm clock on Saturday morning. So that'll be cool.
Well, and that allows you to come by Grandstand, see us, and have a sandwich with us.
Yeah, may do that for sure. All right, Matt, okay. Great segment. You got Larson. I got Hamlin, and we got a Sunday evening race, which should be fun on the USA Network, and we got college football, and you and DC going to be breaking it down, pregame and postgame. So looking forward to that.
Hey, thanks, Roll Tide.
Thanks, Matt. All right, 9:49 here on the Gary Harris Show, and 9:50 actually. The clock just turned over a few seconds to 9:50, and we are rocking and rolling. In that second hour, we're going to get the scoop on Western Kentucky. Can't wait to visit with Lauren Floyd from WBKO in Bowling Green. And then at 10:30, Michael Hunger, general manager of Who's Q and Brew, is going to be in studio and going to have some barbecue for us. So I know Chase is looking forward to that. Wyatt will be coming in. They can get some of that, and we'll be discussing all the great things that Who's Q and Brew has going on for football season. But right now we are going to get to our break, and we're going to come back with one final segment.
Ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports and it's brought to you by Conecuh Sausage, a true Southern flavor since 1947 and the official smoked sausage of the Crimson Tide. Buy online at ConecuhSausage.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. On yesterday's edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, we were joined by Alabama football tight end C.J. Dupree.
I think the tight end in this offense with Coach DeBoer really has to be able to do it all. You know, we're spread out a lot at number 1, 2, or 3. I mean, we're in the core. We're in the backfield sometimes. So I think you have to just be able to do it all and understand what role you have. You know, as a tight end, you have to know the offensive line scheme. You have to know the play call, what the quarterback sees. You have to know the safety level. You have to know everything about the defense. You have to know the receiver routes because you can be put in any position on the offense. So just knowing how to do it all and properly executing your job is a huge thing to be a successful tight end in this program.
I'll have more in a moment.
Favorite jeans, favorite shirt. Got Conecuh sausage and I'm firing it up. Yeah, everybody knows how I get my grill on. You can smell that flavor up and down the road. It's a little taste of heaven and everybody knows. That's how I get my grill on. Conecuh sausage. It's just a little taste of heaven.
Join us tonight for Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show, live from Baumhower's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa. Chris Stewart is your host, and the show will begin at 6 p.m. and feature the first in-person appearance this season of Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer. Hey Coach is available to listen to across the radio network, as well as a video stream on all Alabama Athletics social media platforms. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Conecuh Sausage. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Another hot and dry day today with a sunny sky, the high 98. Tonight fair with the low at 74. Tomorrow and Friday, partly sunny both days with isolated afternoon and evening showers and storms. Highs between 95 and 98. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
Covering University of Alabama sports, as well as the national and local scene as well. The Gary Harris Show, only on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, 9:53 here on the Gary Harris Show, back here in our Tide 100.9 FM, 1230 AM WTBC studio. Getting ready for a big second hour. Enjoyed visiting with Matt Coulter as always. That interview and all of our interviews are available at the Tide 109 Podcast Center at Tide109.com. Also, our podcasts are available anywhere you get your podcast. But if you want to just listen to specific interviews, you can find them at Tide109.com's Podcast Center. All right, let's get back to Alabama football. And in the second hour, after we visit with Lauren Floyd from up there in Bowling Green, we're going to get to that Jalen Milroe audio from yesterday. I just haven't had a chance even to send it to Chase. We've been busy this morning. We've been going nonstop. So I'll try to do that here during the break between the first and second hour so we can hear from the Alabama Crimson Tide quarterback ahead of Saturday night's kickoff against Western Kentucky. One tidbit on Western Kentucky. Again, we've talked about it, but TJ Finley will be the starting quarterback. And again, I just find it very interesting that he's going to be facing Alabama for the third time with a third different team. This is his fourth team overall. And he's still got a couple years of eligibility, but he's a guy that put up huge numbers last year for Texas State. Huge, 6'6" or so, 250 pounds, can make all the throws. This is a Western Kentucky offense that, you know, can be troublesome for Alabama. They've got a lot of weapons, and I've got them scoring 20 points in the game, and I've got Alabama scoring 52. 52-20 is the final score that I've got picked for the game. But I give this Western Kentucky offense a lot of respect. I think they're a dynamic offense, and it's going to be a good test for the Alabama defense in this first game of the season. This is going to be a big test, and we'll find out more certainly from the Western Kentucky perspective coming up in this second hour with Lauren Floyd. But I think Alabama's got to be you always got to be ready to go. Obviously, I'm not saying that you never want to say you're not ready to go, but they're going to be challenged on defense, and it's going to be a great test too for us as fans and sportscasters and whomever else watches the game to watch this Alabama defense go up against this Western Kentucky offense. And if they perform well on Saturday night, I think it bodes well going forward because, again, I think Western Kentucky is going to be hard to handle in their league, and I think their offense is going to be dynamic. So this is a good test for the Alabama defense right off the bat. All right, that's going to wrap it up for hour number 1 of the Gary Harris Show. Let me remind you that on Friday we begin our T-Town Menswear, T-Town Gallery, Alabama football trivia giveaways. And we're going to be giving away that great autographed print with Jalen Milroe and Isaiah Bond. The Gravedigger play from the Iron Bowl. That'll be our first giveaway. We'll be doing Bama trivia. We'll be qualifying people during the show and then giving it away at the end of the show. So can't wait for that on Friday. Bama football trivia is back, courtesy of T-Town Menswear, T-Town Gallery in the University Mall. All right, that's going to wrap it up for hour number 1. We'll be right back on the other side with the second hour of the Gary Harris Show here on Tide 100.9 FM and 1230 AM WTBC.
If you haven't already, you've got to try Tuscaloosa's unique breakfast, brunch, and lunch concept. Brick and Spoon, downtown Tuscaloosa, Timerson Square. It's fresh food with a Cajun flair featuring a full bar with build-your-own Bloody Marys and mimosas. Open daily, 7 a.m. until 2 p.m. Available for after-hours events, rehearsal dinners, receptions, and birthdays. They offer brunch and lunch catering. Call Brick and Spoon at 205-345-5551 for more information.
Los Tarascos has been serving Mexican favorites like burritos, fajitas, and quesadillas since 1999. Their new location is at 4100 Owen Parkway in Northport. And of course, you can find Los Tarascos in Tuscaloosa at 110 Skyland Boulevard. The bar areas feature big screen television so you can enjoy your favorite sporting events. Los Tarascos features daily happy hour specials.
Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence dyne test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
Life doesn't wait for when your finances are in perfect order. It just happens. But no matter what surprises come your way, Alabama Credit Union will be here to help make it affordable with great personal loans, mortgages, and auto loans. They offer an easy application process and fast decisions so you can stay focused on feeling good about whatever life brings your way. Alabama Credit Union will be here to help make it affordable with great personal loans, mortgages, and auto loans. Alabama Credit Union, loans for real life. Visit alabamacu.com to learn more. Some rules and restrictions apply. See if you're eligible for membership, then join today and feel good about your money.
WTBC Tuscaloosa and W265CG Tuscaloosa, a Town Square media station. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Nick Cope.
A four-time Pro Bowl running back has found a new home. Former Vikings and Jets tailback Dalvin Cook is signing with the Cowboys. No contract details are known just yet. Late scores in baseball from Tuesday. The Orioles edged the Dodgers 3-2 in a battle of two of the top teams in the big leagues. Yankees lost to the Nationals 4-2. So Baltimore is pulled back within a game of New York for the division. D-backs lost to the Mets 8-3. Padres over the Cardinals NL 7-5. Arizona and San Diego each 3 back of the Dodgers in the NL West race, and they both hold the top 2 wildcard spots in the NL. Mets, by the way, are 3 back of the Braves for the final NL wildcard spot. Elsewhere, the Royals won their 3rd straight against the Guardians 6-1. Kansas City and Cleveland now tied at the top of the AL Central. Philly shut out the Astros 5-0 behind 7 scoreless from Aaron Nola.
Now, this hour's West Alabama real-time news update from the Tuscaloosa Thread Newsroom.
A prison recidivism prevention program in Perry County is being recognized as a national model. The Probation and Parole Reentry Education Program Center opened in 2022 in Marion. Demolition of the old Tuscaloosa News Building has now been awarded to Britt Demolition and Recycling Company with the low bid $396,000. That will make way for the new Sabin Center downtown. The old Benjamin Barnes YMCA branch building is available to social services and civic organizations for lease or to buy.
Get 24/7 local news coverage and sports updates when you download the free Tuscaloosa Thread app and sign up for twice daily email newsletters. The Gary Harris Show. UCM host Tider Insider TV. Crimson Tide Kickoff. Play-by-play for Alabama sports and sports director for WVUA 23. It's time for the Gary Harris Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, everybody, here we go. Hour number 2 of the Gary Harris Show right here on the Big Tide 100.9 FM and 1230 AM WTBC. I'm Gary Harris. Of course, Chase Brumfeld there in the control room, ready to go in the second hour. And as I said, Michael Hunger from Who's Q and Brew is going to be joining us in studio, bringing up some goodies at 10:30 this morning. A lot of barbecue going to be here as we talk about all the stuff they've got planned for football season. But right now, we're going to hop out on the Pinnacle Park at North River Hotline and welcome in Lauren Floyd, who's a anchor reporter with WBKO in Bowling Green, Kentucky. She also went to Western Kentucky, so she knows all about the Hilltoppers as Alabama gets set to host WKU this Saturday night inside Bryant-Denny Stadium. Good morning, Lauren. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How about you?
Doing terrific. Good to have you on. Appreciate you coming on here. And you got a unique perspective there covering the Western Kentucky football program and also being a recent alum, 2022 graduate. So tell us about Western Kentucky football, as obviously they've been to Tuscaloosa before, and this is a good football team, but a great opportunity for a season opener to be in Tuscaloosa and to be the opponent for the first game of the Kalen DeBoer era. I'm sure there's a lot of excitement surrounding this game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, whenever it comes to a game like this, I mean, it's the talk of the town. It's what everybody's most excited for. Obviously, whenever it comes to every season, all Tops fans are going to be excited. But opening against Alabama and a new era for Alabama even brings more excitement to it. From my perspective, it's a little bit different. I mean, I graduated from Western in 2022. I was there whenever the Tyson Helton era started. So I've kind of seen that whole era from the very beginning of it, seen ups and downs and all that kind of thing. I mean, coming into this year, I will say it is unlike any other season that I've seen before. Even Tyson in his press conference on Monday said that about 40% of this roster is brand new. Guys that we haven't seen before and that have a lot of talent, and that's kind of the way of the land with the transfer portal and everything like that. But having so much turnover and having so many new guys, there's definitely a lot to learn and a lot to see, and that kind of adds to the excitement because as of right now, you don't really know who to look out for. So. Yeah.
Tyson Helton's done a great job, but you're right, Lauren. It's the new world we live in with the portal, and a lot of teams are going through the same thing. One of those newcomers, though, is a player that's very familiar to Alabama. This will be the third time that TJ Finley has faced the Crimson Tide. Once at LSU, once at Auburn, and of course last year he was at Texas State and put up huge numbers. And remarkably, he's still just a junior, which blows my mind. But this is a guy who big, strong quarterback. Had incredible numbers, as I said, last year, over 3,000 yards passing, I think 29 touchdowns throwing, 5 running. He's been named the starter. What's the anticipation for TJ Finley in this first game against a familiar opponent for him?
You know, I will say, with him being named the quarterback, I mean, a lot of people were anticipating who it was going to be. There hasn't been a quarterback battle on the Hill in over 2 years since Austin Reed took over and he was the quarterback for the past 2 years. So it did bring some excitement there of who was going to be named the starting quarterback. Obviously, the quarterback battle was between TJ Finley and Bowling Green's own Caden Beltcamp, who led the team back to the overtime win in the famous Toastery Bowl last year. So, I mean, there was good competition there, and I honestly think that competition is a good thing because it allows players to kind of see from both quarterbacks. Each quarterback is going to run the same type of offense, but they have different characteristics. So you're going to have to be able to get used to both of them. I would say that whenever the announcement came out on Monday that TJ was going to be the starter, I wasn't surprised. It kind of makes sense with, the high-powered offense that Western Kentucky likes to run. I think both of them, between Caden and TJ, I think they can both sling it. But whenever it comes to just experience in itself, you have TJ, who obviously he played at LSU, he played at Auburn, and then with Texas State last year. So he has that game day experience, especially being in a big environment. He himself hasn't actually played at Alabama. They've played Alabama just at their home.
Right.
So this will be interesting.
Auburn. Yep.
Yeah. So this will be interesting for him to finally take the field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. So that will be interesting. But also, he's been in these high-powered situations multiple times.
Yeah, and he was the quarterback in 2021 when Auburn almost beat Alabama. Jordan-Hare probably should have beaten them, and he played really well in that game for Auburn. So big, strong guy that can make all the throws. I think this Alabama defense is going to be tested. They're going to be tested by this offense, period. This offense has its roots in the Petrino brothers system, and Tyson Helton, as we said, has established himself as a really good head coach. But last year, of course, Austin Reed was a quarterback. This offense was dynamic, Lauren, with the change at quarterback, with the roster kind of turning over the way it has. What's the expectation for the offense this season?
Whenever it comes to the offense this season, I would say whenever it comes quarterback-wise, Western is very quarterback-oriented, so a lot of things run around him. Whenever it comes to offensive threats, you don't have your Malachi Corley from last year, but the wide receiver, I don't think I've ever seen as many wide receivers on a roster for Western Kentucky in a very long time. There are a lot of different receivers, and they're going to be utilized in different ways. So I think for me, it will be interesting to see how they utilize them throughout the game, because there's returners such as Dalvin Smith, Easton Messer, Katie Hutchinson, and then you have guys that are coming in such as Coy Moore, who is a recent addition to the Western roster, and he also played at LSU and Auburn. So there's some connection there with TJ along the way. So that kind of it'll make for a different type of game, I want to say, because you don't have your Malachi Corley or your go-to guy like that, but the depth is unlike anything I've seen in recent seasons.
All right, Lauren, let me just cut through the chase. Alabama's a 30.5-point favorite in this game. Kalen DeBoer era kicks off. I don't think anybody expects Western Kentucky to win the game. Now, have stranger things happen? Yeah, in the history of sports they have, but it's a long shot. But I do think that there's a feeling there in Bowling Green that Western Kentucky can be competitive in this game and make it interesting. What's your feeling on how you think the Hilltoppers will play and can they get this game into the second half still, in a competitive fashion?
I've kind of looked at it from different perspectives. I have different perspectives from being a student to now being a reporter for the past 2.5 years. And over the course of the past 2 years, 2 years ago, Western played Auburn. And it was tied at halftime.
Sure was.
And then the game blew wide open. Then you have Ohio State last year, and it was still very competitive until that second half. So it's kind of like been a trend over the past couple of years to where we've hung in with these Power 5 teams for about a half. And then once it gets to that second half, it's kind of like the gas runs out a little bit. So whenever it comes to this new era, I do think that this Western Kentucky team is completely different from the past 2 years. And they're going to go out there and give it their all. Whether that says a win or a loss at the end of the day, I don't really think that necessarily matters. But getting that experience in itself at the very beginning of the season, because taking things back whenever they played Auburn, it was towards the end of the year. Ohio State was kind of like towards the beginning, but wasn't the season opener. And you're opening up against an Alabama team that is underneath a new charge. And so they're going to go out there and give it what they have. And so it'll be interesting to see. Do I necessarily think that that's going to end with Western Kentucky winning? No. But coming out of that, I mean, for Western Kentucky in itself, going out there and giving Alabama a game for at least a half, hopefully for maybe 3/4 of the game. I mean, I just hope that they can find some footing very early on before the game sort of kind of blows wide open.
And as you said, it kind of sets the table for Western Kentucky. I know they feel like they have a chance to win their league, and getting experience in a game like this will certainly help. One interesting aspect of this game, too, is Will Friend, who was brought in January as the offensive coordinator. And he played at Alabama. I actually, years ago, I covered him. That shows how old I am. I covered him when he was in high school over in Mississippi. And I wanted to get Will on this week, but he said, he's focused on the game. But we talk about how dynamic this offense has been, but what Will is a kind of an offensive lineman, offensive line coach. Is the feeling there that he is going to maybe bring some toughness to that offense? I know they're going to run Coach Helton's scheme, but have you got to be around Will Friend, and what's the vibe on him as the offensive coordinator?
I really think that he is very dialed in. He's one of those people that will kind of shoot you straight. So whenever it comes to kind of talking to him, I mean, he's very offensive line oriented, and kind of, I guess, one of the, not necessarily only concerns, but one of the main concerns that I've kind of gotten from talking to him whenever it comes to this opening game against Alabama is Western Kentucky's offensive line has a lot of new faces, and just getting them really in the groove before game one. So I will be interested to really see how the offensive line can adapt and go through adversity, because if the offensive line can't hold, then TJ Finley or whoever's back there at quarterback and the offense in itself can't run the way that Western Kentucky likes to play offense. And so that high-powered offense cannot compete if they don't have the time. And so it'll be interesting, and I will be keeping an eye on, I guess, the offensive line just to see, because I think there was a little bit of concern there heading into game one. But I'd love to see how they kind of put those finishing touches on it before the game starts.
Finally, Lauren, this Alabama game is going to be a big game opener for both teams, and huge opportunity for Western Kentucky. But for the Hilltoppers, Conference USA wise, they've got a legitimate shot, don't you think, to win their league?
Absolutely. Whenever it comes to the addition of Liberty last year, Liberty was just above everyone in every aspect. And they deserved that New Year's Six Bowl and going and playing Oregon and all of that. But Western Kentucky, ever since Tyson Helton has come to the Hill, Western Kentucky has been to 5 bowl games. They've won every single year up to this point. They've won 4 out of the 5, but one thing that they have not done is won a conference championship game. And if you ask any player, especially ones that have been around and been on this team and been through ups and downs, their one goal is to win a conference championship game. And so that kind of motivates them longer down the line, but it all starts with how do you play and how do you battle through adversity whenever it comes to high-powered competition like they're about to face in just a few days.
Great stuff, Lauren. I appreciate it very much. Good insight into Western Kentucky. And if people want to track the Hilltoppers, kind of fill them in on, social media and your website at the TV station and some things like that if they want to kind of get a glimpse into what's happening this week as Alabama gets ready to host Western Kentucky.
Of course. On every social media platform, you can either find me by my name, which is Lauren Floyd. The last name's Floyd. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Lauren Floyd TV. And all of our live streaming and updates will be at WBKO.com.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, have a great day. Lauren Floyd with us here, giving us some scoop on the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Good segment right there. Hope you enjoyed it. All right, it is 10:15. We are going to get to a timeout, but before we do, I want to mention to you that it's a great time to play golf coming up. I know a lot of people think about the summer, but really the fall is the best golf weather that you can get in terms of going to be a little bit cooler, hopefully. And Tall Pines Golf Club in Tuscaloosa is ready for you. And it's a hidden gem in Tuscaloosa. I've been talking about it for some time now, and I want you to be a part of it. Open to the public. Tall Pines, they're the old Woodland Forest Country Club. Call to make a tee time, 205-556-1232, 205-556-1232. Also, take note that they have memberships as well. And the swimming pool that's been open all summer, I know we're getting down here to Labor Day, but it's going to be a big weekend for the folks there at the swimming pool, too. So it's not too late to join and get some pool time in. And then, of course, you'll be ready to go next spring as well. That's Tall Pines Golf Course. Call 205-556-1232. All right, we'll be right back with more of the Gary Harris Show. We can get to some phone calls. Also, we got Jalen Milroe, Alabama quarterback, ready to go from yesterday, his media session there inside the Hank Crisp indoor facility. That's coming up next right here on Tide 100.9 FM and 1230 AM WTBC.
On the next Inside the Locker Room with Coach Wimp Sanderson and Barry Sanderson.
Tune in Thursday. We'll get you ready for the next Blue Plate Special, brought to you by Chuck Norwood, the RE/MAX Realty team. Also at 7:30, J.C. Sherbrooke will join us. We'll go around the SEC and look at the games with J.C. Tommy Ford will join us in the second half and talk about his new podcast, Crimson Chronicles. Plus, we'll take your
living at First and Main. Visit firstandmaincondos.com or call 205-657-7465. Mention you heard about us on the radio and receive 1 month free rent.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Another hot and dry day today with a sunny sky, the high 98. Tonight fair with the low at 74. Tomorrow and Friday, partly sunny both days with isolated afternoon and evening showers and storms. Highs between 95 and 98. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
Follow Tide 100.9 on Facebook today to watch our live shows, read the great articles, and interact with Bama fans today.
All right, 10:20 here on the Gary Harris Show. Welcome back in. And perfect timing to get to Jalen Milroe, Alabama quarterback. There were several players that did media sessions yesterday, but obviously when it's the quarterback for the Crimson Tide, that's kind of the one that everybody focuses in on. He met with reporters yesterday for about 10 minutes and talked about the upcoming game against Western Kentucky. Here is Jalen Milroe from yesterday following practice.
I think for everything, it's all about having goals set and also relating back to the team. I think that's very important because, the offseason is very important because there's no shot clock. And so within that time frame, you have so much growth to improve on and get better at. And for us, all we can do is reflect on the 2023 season because you're judged off your last performance. And so all we want to do is keep on building and improving. And each room has goals for themselves. And most importantly, it's all about the relationship aspect of it with Coach Sheridan, Coach DeBoer, the quarterbacks in the room. Just always just trying to improve. And Coach DeBoer talks about relentless pursuit of continuous improvement. And that's something that we got to do constantly each and every day so that when it comes to goals set, which is future goals and long-term goals, we didn't accomplish that based off of, what we do in the offseason, which is in the dark.
Well, what about next year? How do you feel about this time?
I felt good, confident just off of training. Because, you fall back to your level of training. You don't rise to a occasion, you fall back to your level of training so that for any aspect of the game that it comes to, you can reflect back on your training and based off of the reps after practice. And so, with that, it's all about being detail oriented so that, in any time where it's a crucial aspect in the game, you can step up because of the level of training.
Kalen DeBoer's been kind of almost like a quarterback risk for his career. What about him makes him, such a good quarterback, or like such a, easy to play quarterback under, I guess?
No, absolutely. It's been great to be with him. Especially, of course, he, just the relationship he has with the quarterback and just trying to learn as much as possible. And as a quarterback, I want to see the field and the lenses of the head coach, in all areas of the game. And so that's been awesome to have that aspect now from spring ball to summer training and now fall camp, then transition to the season. It's been so much growth and so much improvement as a team, just off of just the relationship aspect and just always being a sponge for all information.
What's it like going through a film session with him? Kind of take us behind the scenes a little bit and kind of give us a behind the scenes look of what it's like kind of going through one of those with him.
I think, ultimately you're trying to see the field as a coach, to see the football field in the lenses of the coach, and processes differently, when you get on the field. Because, at the end of the day, at the quarterback position, you simplify the game into being a point guard with the football. Distribute the ball to our playmakers so they can make explosive plays and, doing what the player was required. And so, no better than you can have the opportunity, which is the film prep, so that, you have the preparation. So when you get on the field, you can play at the fastest and ultimately you're going to get best.
He had a success with a guy named Lorenzo Brown back at Sioux Falls, the guy that can run the ball. Everyone talks about all his pocket passes, but have you seen any of what he was able to do with Lorenzo, and what do you kind of think that could mirror in your game? Or
not necessarily. I just try to, just trying to improve and get better in my sense, because, I haven't reached the surface of what I can do. So, with each and every day, it's all about, setting goals and, ultimately being around my coaching staff, because, they're going to push me to be to wherever I need to be at so that I can be ready to play when it comes to game one.
He pushes you, but talk about the confidence that Nick Sheridan gives you as the quarterback coach. What things that he says and does that puts you at that confident level?
Number one, he believes in me. He loves me. And I think there's nothing greater than that. Beyond any X's and O's and going over schemes, it's the belief system that a coach has in the player. And so you're going to want to play for a coach. You're going to want to do ultimately your best, each and every day, because you have a coach that's behind you and that wants the best for you. And so that's something I've seen, from our, time period of him getting here until now. It's been so much fun. That's the best thing about it, is that football's been fun. And to be around him, it's been awesome. And I just continue to enjoy our relationship.
How is Kalen sort of tweaked the offense for y'all and y'all's skill sets versus what you saw on tape with him at Washington?
I think he hasn't really, of course you try to, simplify our team into strengths and weaknesses. And so with that, you're going to attack the strengths, because that's what's going to make us successful. And so, us as an offense, we're not one dimensional. We have so much elements to our game that's going to be, super successful this year. And, with him being at Washington and with him being now, you can, separate into pillars of, what is our strengths, what are our weaknesses. And so, during the offseason, you have spring ball, you have summer ball, you have fall camps, and now, have that, information that we can build on for a personal offense.
You mentioned that he kind of designed it around you, and you're going to kind of accentuate your skills. When you have that kind of conversation with him, is that something that goes over time, or do you how do those, preferences, how do you convey them to? What's the process of that like?
I think it comes from confidence and being comfortable. At the end of the day, when a player's on the field, he needs to play fast, free, fearless. And so with that, it comes with play calls. It comes with, being familiar with the scheme, being prepared, taking notes when you're in the film room, so that when you go on the field, you can play fast, because the biggest thing as a player, you don't want to be overthinking while you're in the field. And so, I think that's very important, when it comes to our schemes and maneuvers, when it comes to playing in game one, when it comes to installing plays, it's all about the benefit of the whole team, and which is, something that we do really well at.
Staff talk to you about what you running the ball before you get on that?
Oh, absolutely. For sure, like, one thing about it is that it's hard to beat an offense that's not one-dimensional. That's something that we take pride in. On offense, that we're not one-dimensional. We have so many areas of our game that we can utilize in every room. And then especially, with the run game, with the passing game, it's going to be hard for our defense to just decipher, what are they going to do on offense. And so, for us on offense, all we want to do, continue to be 1-0 mindset-wise, and just build off the next play, because, it's hard to say, what we're going to run in the next play, because we have so many areas of our game that we could be explosive at.
You talked about your relationship with your teammates and
I don't, that's something that is very important to me. I take a lot of pride in representing our football team, representing the state of Alabama, representing the guys in our locker room in a positive lighting. And so to have the opportunity to be a captain this year is very, very important. And, I'm super excited for the opportunity. And so now it's just trying to be the positive reflection of our football team each and every day that I walk in the building. And so, I'm just super thankful to be nominated as the team captain this year.
What can this team do this season? What's the goal?
I'll say, our goal ultimately is each game that goes by, we need to get better. Our first game shouldn't be our best game. Each game that we have this year. We should get constantly getting better. And as we're getting better, you simplify the game. 1-0, attacking each and every day. You do that. You complement, with success and stuff like that. You're going to reach the top, of the mountain. And so, of course, we know what's at the top of the mountain, with all the success, every goal that every team in the whole country has for themselves is at the top of the mountain. It's not reachable right now. So the biggest thing we try to do is attack fall camp, where we were just at, and now it's game week, and just being prepared as much as possible. And that's something that emphasizing to the whole group is just being prepared for all aspects of the game, because we're going to need all 4 quarters to be successful as a football team.
What's up, Jalen? I know you're a Texas guy. I'm a Texas guy myself.
Okay. Yeah.
I know you're from Katy. I've had the opportunity to see your journey just from Katy to Alabama, and seeing you win the starting job, and just the adversity you dealt with from last year, being benched in the South Florida game. Then your Heisman run, and then just overall just the last play of that Michigan game. Can you just talk about how all those made you a better quarterback, a better leader, and just a better teammate overall?
I think that's a really good question. I think experience is the best teacher. With so many opportunities of playing the game of football, you learn so much about yourself, and it makes you stronger. And that's something that I can truly say, is that my journey of being in college has made me stronger and been prepared for all aspects of whatever takes place in the future. And so I got to applaud my support system along this process. They've been great to me, uplifting me along the journey. Whenever the process got weary, I've been constantly just been strong based off my support system that's been around me, and the coaching staff that's been around me. And so I have an army behind me, so it's been awesome to have that in a sense. But along this process, it's all about trusting in it. That's something I learned for Coach Saban, is as cliche as it is, just trusting the process. There's going to be light at the end of that tunnel based on your race. Your race is your race. Nobody else can, determine your race. And so that's something I take a lot of pride in when it comes to a journey, is that there's going to be brighter days, and it's all about setting short-term goals and long-term goals. When you have that, you have something that's reachable in a sense, and you have something that you're working towards. And so, now at this aspect of where I'm at, as a quarterback, there's always room for improvement. Never can get complacent, but I can truly say that I'm proud of myself because of the process, that just trusting it, and that's something that I got to credit Coach Saban for, and now Coach DeBoer, because he emphasizes trusting the process. And so with this process, it's all about being surrounded by like-minded people, which is to be successful, and just keep pushing and not getting complacent.
A lot of DeBoer former players talk about him being a father figure to them. Have you had a moment this offseason where you could share with us that where maybe he kind of showed that to you, or was there a moment that kind of exemplified that with you and his relationship?
I can just credit him to how great of a person he is. Just the likability he has in the whole facility, and when he's around, it's never a dull moment with Coach DeBoer. And I love that about him. And, one thing, of course, strive for perfection, but he acknowledges that it's a work in progress. And so it's always, critique in private, praise in public. And that's something that he does a really good job at. And, I can just say that I'm really having a lot of fun. The game of football is fun, just being around him. And it is something that's emphasized with the whole coaching staff. And then you got to always start with the top of the pinnacle, which is Coach DeBoer, but also the coaching staff that he has with us has been awesome. So I'll just say, man, I just am super excited for what is in store for our football team, and also being led by Coach DeBoer, because it's been a fun process.
Thank you, Jalen.
Appreciate you.
Great stuff from Jalen Milroe right there yesterday following practice. All right, it's 10:30 here on the Gary Harris Show. We're going to get to the timeout. I've been running around while Jalen was talking, we got some barbecue in here for the guys. I mean, it's, we got ribs, we got meatloaf, we got pulled pork, we got a whole mixture of stuff. We got all the sides from Who's Q and Brew. Michael Hunger, the general manager, is with me.
Feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text support to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
You see him on WVUA 23 covering sports, and on Tider Insider TV on Tuesday nights. Don't miss a minute of the Gary Harris Show. Weekdays from 9 to 11 on Tide 100.9.
10:35. Welcome back into the Gary Harris Show here on Tide 100.9 FM and 12:30 AM WTBC. And we're going to break away from the sports talk for a little bit. Michael Hunger, the general manager of Who's Q and Brew, one of my great sponsors, is in studio with me, and he did not come empty-handed. And I will tell you that there is a couple of big plates of food sitting in one of the other studios. And let me see here. I've helped get it out. There is some pulled pork. There is some smoked chicken. There are some ribs. There is some meatloaf. There looks like there's 4 or 5 different sides. So first of all, Michael, good morning, and thanks for feeding everybody.
Morning, Gary. Happy to be here.
And you did not come, as I said, empty-handed. And that's the kind of the theme this morning, is that with football season here, obviously Eat In is great. Everybody can come to Who's Q and Brew, watch all the games. You got 19 TVs, Buzz Time Trivia. It's going to be a big football season in that regard. But catering-wise, you've really worked to simplify your bulk catering so that you can outfit people for their tailgates and their football parties at home.
Yes, sir. Even though I'm from Illinois, I know how serious y'all take football down here. So just trying to make it easier on everybody. You can call up now. We've got a couple different size packages. Starting at you're trying to feed 3 to 4 people. We go all the way up to you're looking to feed about 25 to 30. And it's really just, like you said, trying to break it down and simplify it. You tell us what meat, sides, and bread you want, and we'll do the rest.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed with the prices, because I'm looking at the 3 to 4 people package, which might be just for, some couple people at home. But a pound of meat, 2 pints of sides, 4 buns or a half loaf of bread, just $32. And your meats that you can choose from for your different packages are pork, chicken, ribs, and meatloaf. And you go up, like you said, all the way up to big people. But even for 15 people, this is mind-blowing to me. This is less than $10 a person for $122. 4 pounds of meat. You got a little bit of a sub for ribs, 4 quarts of sides, 16 buns or 2 loaves. Sides include baked beans, mac and cheese, who's stew, coleslaw, potato salad. A lot of choices.
Yes, sir. Like I said, we're just trying to keep it simple, get things out there, and we're pretty free open even for this weekend, which is crazy to me. So if you're looking to celebrate the Western Kentucky game, give us a call. You can call the store, email me, hqbtuscaloosa@gmail.com. We'll get you set up.
If you got a really big tailgate, like you said, getting up to the 25 people or larger range, I would assume there needs to be some time for preparation. How soon do people need to call you if they're going to be doing a big Saturday tailgate?
At least 24 hours. Once we get into more, we might extend it a little bit, but as of right now, we're looking at least 24 hours. And that's when you get into the more price range of, $300 to $500 about for those, but you can, like I said, always give us a call. We'll figure something out for you.
You're thinking about when you're talking about that many people is if you want to, be the provider of the feast and just say, hey, I'm picking up the tab. But if you want to go by person, like I said, that's everybody throws $10 in the pot, and that's very reasonable.
Exactly.
Great way to do it. In-store wise, of course, I'm there regularly. Rodney Orr and I actually came in following Tider Insider TV last night to eat with you up there, and I had I went with the half chicken, coleslaw, and baked beans. Rodney actually went with a cheeseburger and fries, which you can't go wrong with that. And then I took Stu McCann back to the TV station, took him a smoked chicken sandwich and some fries. But 7 days a week, open on Sunday. I know you close at 2 on Sunday. Is that still going to be the plan with football season for NFL, or are you gonna,
for NFL? Yeah. It'll be a moving thing, I think. So it just kind of depends. Yeah. So if you just want to follow us, Who's Q and Brew, Facebook and Instagram, that'd probably be the best way to keep up with that.
But on Saturdays, if you have not been there, and you're looking for a place to watch the games, 19 TVs. There's not a spot that you can be sitting. I'm not talking about small TVs. Anywhere in the restaurant, you're going to have a big TV right in front of your face. All the games will be on. Drink specials, great beer list, obviously the terrific barbecue. So for people who aren't going to the game and don't want to tailgate, great place to just go hang out on Saturdays there at Who's Q and Brew.
Yes, sir. And actually, before I forget, I'm going to be... I get kind of creative when I get bored, and I've been getting bored.
Like you said, you're always spitballing.
Yeah. So, every home game, I'm going to be doing featured drink special, featured food special. And so for this weekend, for example, Western Kentucky's the Hilltoppers. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do a Hilltopper salad, which is basically going to be a cheeseburger salad, essentially.
Oh, wow.
And so I've got things planned out for every game, kind of, just kind of having fun with it.
Speaking of salads, let me say something about, is it the almost healthy salad?
Almost good for you.
Almost good for you salad. Folks, I like salads, I'm going to be honest with you, but the almost good for you salad is huge. And I know a lot of people say, well, salads don't fill me up. I promise you, I'm a big eater. You get the almost good for you salad, it is plenty. That's one of the biggest salads I've ever had.
Yes, sir. And I mean, I'll tell you, we've seen people clean the bowl. We've seen people who give up about halfway through. But I mean, Almost Good For You salad, got meat on there. It's $12. So
cannot beat it.
Yeah.
And cannot beat it. And I think one of the days it's the special where it's even down to like 10.
That'll be game day Saturday.
Yeah. So you get it for 10 then. All right. Let's get back to the catering, and then we'll touch on delivery as well. But once again, people that want to cater for their tailgate, for their parties at home, maybe just a few people getting together, give them the number again. Time that you need to prepare the food. One more time, go over all that.
All right. You just give us a call, 205-248-7069. I know the way it's worded on the phone is a little funny, but if you're just looking to pick up something easy, like one of these family packs we've been talking about, the 3 to 4 up to 15, press 1. That'll connect you to a bartender. We'll get you to whoever we need. And then if you're looking for one of those bigger ones, it's the same number. You just press 2. And it'll connect you to, it's actually Brad's cell phone. So then we'll get everything set up for catering. We just need at least 24 hours notice.
Yeah, please give them a little bit of time because they want to do it right. And I'm telling you again, the food that he brought in this morning looks absolutely delicious. And as fate would have it, of course I go to Hughes Q and Brew a lot. I got to go get blood work done after the show this morning. So I'm not going to be able to dive into this barbecue, but everybody else will. All right. As far as delivery, I know you've got a deal with DoorDash. Explain how that works.
Okay, so for the DoorDash, it's just like ordering online. So you go to whosbbq.com, just like placing the pickup order, but now you have the option. You can have it delivered. It is processed through DoorDash. There is a small delivery fee, but that is passed on. You know, we don't have to increase our prices. It's the exact same price it is on the menu. Pay that delivery fee. DoorDash comes, picks it up, brings it to you. And then as far as the bulk catering goes, we charge a $25 delivery fee, and that is serviced directly by us.
Okay, yeah. So you'll bring all the food out for the catering. All right, folks, get it to go, and get Michael and his staff there to do all the cooking for you. Still time for this first weekend. We're 2 days away. You got plenty of time for your tailgate, for your home parties. Give Who's Q and Brew a call. And I'm telling you what, a lot of people that are listening have tried it, so they know. But if you haven't tried it, this is incredible barbecue. And I'm going to say this, this is a ribs town, and I'm not just saying this. The baby back or St. Louis style, whatever they are.
Baby backs.
Yeah. These are some of the most tender ribs. I put out that picture not long ago when I had the ribs and there was nothing left but the bone. They fall off the bone. If you have not tried these baby backs from Who's Q, do yourself a favor and try them out. You will absolutely love them. Michael, I appreciate you coming by, man.
Appreciate you, Gary. Thanks for having me.
I'll tell you what, I know everybody's going to appreciate digging into that Who's Q and Brew.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to you soon.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
it's 10:43 here on the Gary Harris Show. We'll take a time out. We got one segment left, wide open for phone calls in this final segment. Also going to go ahead and I think I said 2 days away. We got 3 days away before the game, so still plenty of time to get your catering. But we're going to go ahead and look ahead at what I've got coming ahead the rest of the week here on the Gary Harris Show. Plenty of stuff, including a wild show coming up on Friday. We'll be right back after this.
Coming up on The Game with Ryan Fowler.
Coming up on the Wednesday edition of The Game, we're going to feature Aaron Torres. We're going to feature Josh from College Football Nerds. Wallace Gilberry is going to be one of the honorary captains. He'll join us. We'll take scores on a Southern Ale House score prediction Wednesday right here on The Game, starting at 2 p.m. on Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
The longest running sports program.
Bring you 100% satisfaction and appointments set around your schedule. Give us a call for all your steam cleaning needs. 205-553-9460. Houston Hydro Steam. Quality work you can stand on.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Another hot and dry day today with a sunny sky, the high 98. Tonight fair with the low at 74. Tomorrow and Friday, partly sunny both days with isolated afternoon and evening showers and storms. Highs between 95 and 98. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9.
Find Tide on Twitter at Tide109 to keep up with show announcements, guests, and our reporters in the field.
All right, 10:47. Welcome back into the Gary Harris Show. One final segment here before we wrap it up for Wednesday. I got a big couple of days coming up, Thursday and Friday. Of course, Friday, we start back our Bama football trivia giveaway through T-Town Menswear and T-Town Gallery University Mall. Going to be giving away that signed full-color print of Jalen Milroe connecting with Isaiah Bond on the Gravedigger play. Can't wait for that. Also, some great interviews coming up the next couple of days as we get ready for football season. And I know, Wyatt, are you going to be live at Innisfree on Friday?
I'll be live at Innisfree on Friday, and then I'll also do the post game with Matt.
Yeah, we talked about that with Matt earlier this morning, and I probably won't this Friday, but I want to do a couple of my shows from Innisfree as well. So one of these Fridays may set you up, help you get me to set the equipment up a little bit early, because I know you got your show leading right into the Miller's Edge, and I want to do a couple shows from Innisfree as well. So looking forward to that. Right now, I'm looking forward to jumping out here on the Pinnacle Park at North River Hotline and welcoming in our pal Robbie. Hey, good morning, Robbie.
Good morning, Gary. How you doing, buddy?
Well, I've been tracking the updates on Striker. Looks like some nights are better than others, but all in all, he seems to be doing a little bit better.
Yeah, well, last night was really bad. I had to give him that strong gabapentin that I hate giving it to him. We do, because it basically just knocks him out to where he doesn't feel the pain.
Oh, Lord.
And but he woke up today smiling. He's doing better. He feel a little junky, but it's just part of it. He's fighting, and it's just what we're gonna have day to day. It changes, but he was smiling today, so I'm back out on the road heading to Coleman right now to check some jobs. I know Innisfree's picking back up. I'd love to get down to Innisfree. I used to love being there on Fridays when doing the shows back when Lars and Matt were doing it. But,
yeah. Well, we're going to be doing
good place, good people.
As good as it comes, man. No doubt about that. But on Striker, I know as long as he's fighting, you and his mom are fighting for him. Hey, what do you got? What do you got going sports wise for this first weekend of college football?
Oh, man. Well, first, I can't wait. Of course, starts out with, which is weird to me, the Georgia-Clemson game so early in the morning.
Yeah, 11 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have people over at the house, at the pool. I'm going to try to play golf early Saturday morning and watch it. I want to go to the games. I got tickets, but with Striker, his health, I would hate to be in T-Town in the stadium and get a call that I got to try to get out of there quickly. But we're still going. We'll probably go to the South Florida game. I can't wait to see this new team. And like Milroe is so impressive, man. You heard the new confidence that he instilled, like Coach DeBoer does, with making them have fun and letting them be loose. But then you also heard the Saban in them saying, yeah, but we know we got to play fast. And that comes with being ready to play and being so focused and having our jobs down. He's got two great coaches leading this team. It's going to be fun to watch them this year.
I can't wait, brother. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah,
we're at that point now. When you get to that final week, it's like, man, let's get to the game. I'm ready to watch some football. Yeah. And one advantage for me, not doing Crimson Tide kickoff anymore on Saturday morning, although I miss it, is going to be, though, that I can watch some college football. With it being a 6 o'clock kick, I can watch some college football Saturday and enjoy kind of the fan side of it before I go to the game that night to work. I don't have to get there until about 4. So I get to, you know what I mean? I get to enjoy a little bit of it as a fan,
get to enjoy it.
So that's
as long as that blood work goes well for you today, right?
Hopefully.
How much you get to enjoy it.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I hate that. They told me I need to cut stress in my life, stop drinking, and stop eating red meat. I'm like, come on now.
I know all this.
That ain't gonna happen.
I'm just telling you, I'm trying to balance it the best I can, man. But woo, Lord.
But I tell you, we got also golf tomorrow, the last event for PGA, which is going to be awesome to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Right into football, and man, I'm just excited. And then I also saw Alabama baseball picked up. They play Florida State again in the fall, and then they picked up Clemson. So that's going to be two great games to see what we got coming next year.
Yeah, that's two really good programs to face in the fall. So I know they're wanting to. They were good last year, but I know Coach and that program, they want to take the next step, which is to host a regional. I think that's the goal for 2025 is to host. And because you feel like, Robbie, you played here, you know what you feel like when you host a regional. You feel like it's your regional to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we were in Florida. We didn't get to host, but we traveled to Florida State. But yeah, you definitely want to play in your home park.
Yeah.
I mean, there's big advantages there.
You feel like it's yours then, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely yours, and I'm excited. It's going to be a fun year for Alabama all the way through every sport. Basketball, you name it, gymnastics. Women's basketball, I think, is going to be dominant this year. So Sarah Ashley Barkley is going to be, I think she's going to be leading that team. They're going to be awesome.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, while you're on the line with us, you're about a month away from the Striker Strong Golf Tournament. And I know it looks like it's going great, but I know you probably still use some help, some volunteers, whatever you need. Go ahead and let people know what you're looking for there for the Striker Strong Golf Tournament coming up at Bent Brook Friday before the Georgia game.
Sixth annual. Yeah, it's Friday, September 27th, the day before Georgia. So always need some people to come out and be a part of it. You want to help, volunteer, or just come out and be a part of it. We would love to have you. I actually do have a couple spots open in the afternoon tea time if you want to get a foursome together. Just go to strikerstrong.org or get in touch with you, and I'll put a foursome in there. It's $800. It's not expensive for a foursome to play. Got a lot of door prizes. A lot of ex-players are going to be there to play. Trying to get Coach Wimp Sanderson to come back out and play. I know he's got a lot going on. You're going to be out there doing your live show. Just come out to Bentbrook Friday, September 27th. It's an all-day event. Just let me know.
Can't wait. Thank you, Robbie.
Thank you, Gary.
All right, it's 10:54 here on the Gary Harris Show, and we're counting it down, and really thrilled that we could feed Wyatt and Chase some good Who's Q barbecue this morning. And because that's that, and even though I get to go to Who's Q and eat what I want, it's still the timing of this morning with me having to go get blood work after the show and not being able to eat it when it's sitting right there in front of my face. And you guys try that coleslaw, man. That's some of the best coleslaw in town. I'll tell you that right now. So anyway, I want to thank Michael Hunger for coming in. Again, all your tailgating needs, they can help you with it. Who's Q and Brew. That's Highway 82 in the Northridge Center in Tuscaloosa. All right. Fun show today. Got a lot of different topics in. Had a lot of different guests. We really enjoyed the Western Kentucky perspective a little bit earlier on. As I said, I put in a request to try to get Will Friend, the offensive coordinator for Western Kentucky, who played, of course, at Alabama, has coached all over the SEC. He politely declined. He just said, Gary, I want to make sure I'm focused on the game. And the first game of the year, going back to Alabama, I don't want to be doing any radio outlets, but we sure enjoyed Lauren Floyd from WBKO there in Western Kentucky giving us a scoop on the Hilltoppers for the game coming up on Friday. All right, still to come today, obviously you've got T-Town Sports Daily coming up right here after my show at 11 a.m. with Wyatt and Chase, and then the Miller's Edge from noon until 2, and then Fowler will have a jam-packed show with you for the game from 2 until 6. And we got Coach Talk tonight, don't we, Wyatt? Hey Coach. We got Hey Coach with Kalen DeBoer.
The first ever in-season Hey Coach with Kalen DeBoer. So excited about that tonight.
And so we'll have that on Tide for you tonight, too. So big day of sports. And then I'll be back here tomorrow with a Thursday edition of the Gary Harris Show, including Ellis Johnson, to give us the breakdown. And, of course, on Friday, as I said, we'll start our Bama football trivia T-Town Menswear T-Town Gallery giveaway. Can't wait for that on Friday. All right, that's going to do it for the show. Catch me on TV tonight with the local sports on WVUA 23. And then back here tomorrow for the Thursday edition of the Gary Harris Show. T-Town Sports Daily is coming up next. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you for listening to